Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to TikToks over theories about what life after death could be like. Pretty deep stuff today. I am so hyped for this video. If you like this kind of content, whether it be mystery or paranormal or just scary TikTok reacts videos, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I will be doing more of this stuff. First up, here we go.
3 creepiest last words. Number 1. I was in the army for Pakistan for humanitarian support after an earthquake. A road gave way, causing a school bus to crash, killing dozens of kids. The first kid taken off the ambulance said something in Urdu which translated to, "The spiders are eating Papa." Number 2. These words came from a man just before he died from renal failure. He said, "I see a bright light. Horses, no eyes. No, no. No!" Loudly yelling it, then crashing, and then suddenly woke up again and with his last breath said, "I understand." Number 3. A nice sweet old lady told my CNA she wanted to wear all white, and when asked why, she said, "The man in black is here." When asked to describe what she was seeing, she said, "He's in all black and he's got a top hat on." She then whispered, "And his eyes are red." She then unexpectedly died later that night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was so creepy. This is what I want to know. What exactly is it that causes these things for people to say this? The man with a hat and eyes, that's probably got to be the scariest one. Personally, I also have fear of spiders, so that one was pretty creepy as well. Could you imagine having a man in all black with red eyes just there waiting for you and you can't do anything about it?
This is what actually happens when you die. According to near-death experiences, the moment you draw your last breath, your consciousness or your soul will leave your body. If you die in a hospital, you'll be able to see your body as it floats upwards towards the ceiling. And as your soul floats up through the hospital roof, a magnetic force pulls you through a dark tunnel. Your memories and your thoughts will fade away as you move through this tunnel. When you reach the end of the tunnel, a brilliant light will shine. When you move closer to this light, you won't be able to help but feel a sense of deja vu. To quote one of the subjects from his near-death experience, he states, "If I was a Christian, I would call the light Jesus. If I was a Buddhist, I would call the light Buddha. If I was a Hindu, I would call the light Krishna." It doesn't matter what we call the light because at the end of the day, it's just love. You see, they say that in the light you will have returned to a place without time, where everyone you had ever known is with you. And you will be closer to your loved ones here than you ever were in their physical life. You'll be home. All the suffering you had ever experienced was worth this single moment. But unfortunately, this won't last forever. Because in order for you to stay in this place, your soul must be judged. And if you don't pass this test...
That is probably like the most calming and reassuring thing that you could think about after death. I being judged to do that eternally, like, is that a thing? I'm not sure. But anyways, it would make sense why love would represent or be represented by light. And love is the thing that brings us all together. So this is just, the audio and everything is just very reassuring and calming.
Yo, this shit scared me so bad too. Cause I was like walking through the forest and I'm like, why is there so many trees, right? And listen. Like I really like thought about it. What if every single tree that we see in the world, listen, you know how people say if you die and you go to hell or you go to purgatory, you're trapped in one spot forever and you can't speak, you can't talk, you can't do everything.
You can get out, yeah.
What if the real hell is becoming a tree? And that's why there's so many trees in the world. Like you're literally stuck and you can just observe. You can't speak, you can't move, you're just stuck.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I feel like, I swear, like the whole problem right now is they're cutting down bare trees, no?
Now, what does that mean?
Okay, all right. I really like this one. It's so different and somehow it makes sense. Now, I will say, other than not being able to move, I don't know how terrible that is. Could you imagine just being a tree after you die. Like, you just wake up and you're this tree. You just stand there and look at your neighbor. And as a kid, I used to think about trees being friends. I don't know if you guys ever did that. Maybe I'm just weird. But I used to imagine like the trees, they'd be friends next to each other, and like they were lifelong friends because they were there before we were born and after we died. So you want to talk about like twin flames? There's a twin flame.
Today, I'm going to share with you how there is scientific proof that life continues after we die. I've had so many incredible experiences at the bedside with those at the end of life, not just from what I've seen, but what my patients will share with me, and what families will share that the patient is saying or what they're experiencing. It's absolutely incredible. When I would share these stories, there were people who said, that's absolutely beautiful, but can you prove it? And yes, in science, it's called physics, and that is the study of energy. And energy, by definition, cannot be destroyed. It can only change form. It can be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. It cannot be destroyed. It has to go somewhere. So the study of physics right now is validating that we go somewhere after our physical body dies.
Yeah, it's wild how popular this theory has become about energy, which is backed by science, so it's pretty cool, and also reassuring.
Yeah, they're invincible, and she just in the background. And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids. He sees them talking with a big smile, but they haven't got a clue. Yeah, they're living a good life, can see what he is going through. They're driving fast cars, but they don't know where they're going. They're in the fast lane, living life without knowing. And he says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in.
I would really like to see what kind of hauntings are out there in normal places. There's got to be ghosts at a grocery store. This is what I want to know. Is there residual energy in apartment complexes? Family member or friend like haunting us without us even knowing? Creepy late night thoughts, but sorry if you live in an apartment and I've scared you now, but I can't help but think about these things. They just are always in my mind.
This is why it is impossible for you to die. The reality that we experience isn't real. Only 35/10,000ths of the percentage of light is visible to the human eye. We see in 3 dimensions of color. Birds have an additional cone on their retina, which means that they see in 4 dimensions of color. And we can only perceive sounds within a certain frequency range. So relative to existence and even animals, our senses literally blind us from perceiving reality in its entirety. The world you see and hear is a controlled hallucination that exists inside your mind, generated by your brain. Reality is the result of human consciousness interfacing with the quantum levels of existence, which are pure waves of energy. Physical doesn't exist. We and all other material are made of empty space. And it's your observation and awareness of it that allow it to exist. So not only is life an illusion, self is an illusion. The you that you think is watching this video doesn't exist. Anatta in Buddhism is a doctrine that says in humans there is no permanent or underlying substance that can be called the soul. Your conscious moods, thoughts, emotions, and impulses that initiate behavior. You are the product of a multitude of psychological processes happening over your whole brain. Neuroanatomically, there's no structure in your brain that contains your ego. We are constantly changing systems. You literally aren't the same person you were when you started watching this video. So because reality isn't real and neither is self, death is only a concept created by the ego. We can't die because there's no you to die. There's no reality to die in and exit from. Through perception, we bring all of this into existence now. So the question isn't what happens when you die. It's what is it like to experience consciousness without the illusion of separation.
Okay, this might have summed up like the entire point of this video. Honestly, when he talked about, hold up, what is it? So the point about how our eyes and our brain only functions to what it allows us, Could you imagine what the world and universe actually looks like with different vision or like different processing in the brain? I know for animals, as you mentioned, like birds, they just see things totally different. Cats see things totally different. Cats can see these lines on our bodies, and they're almost like zebra stripes, and we have them. We just can't see them because our eyes don't allow that, but the cat's eyes do. And so I like every time they look at us, like they can see these unique stripes on us, which is insane. I forget what they're called, but I'll put it up here. But yeah, crazy stuff. It would be so cool to see like the full picture of what everything really looks like.
What the heck did I just witness? Before you say anything, watch this, okay?
You're just not answering
Okay,
the cemetery.
so they go to a cemetery with their little bird, and it gets really happy because it's outside and everything, like, look, it's so happy. And then the behavior suddenly starts changing as they go deeper into the grave. The bird starts getting distressed, and it starts screaming like a human, and starts looking down at the graves. Like, look. Okay, there it is. It's eyeballing the ground. And she's screaming.
Ready to leave. Go
She
ahead.
wants to leave.
Look at her. She wants to go in the car.
If you don't know why I'm like super baffled about this, let me explain. If you don't know this already, when a disbeliever is tortured in the grave, they make a sound that's only being heard by everything else but mankind and jinn. And birds mimic sounds. Birds mimic. So why do we think the bird was screaming at the graveyard? Why do we think? The bird was feeling off and distressed because he could hear the sounds of the people being tortured in the grave. Pray.
Oh my gosh, I have never heard about this. This is wild. This is another good point with nature. Sounds terrifying. Anyways, another perk of being a different animal, not a human. So many different things that you could experience based off of what kind of being we are. It's wild. Alright, that wraps up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching this today. I hope that it was very deep and something new for you. I don't feel like I see much of this on YouTube other than just the like 5 different theories about life after death. So I feel like this is kind of different and like a little bit mind-opening. But let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. As always, I love to hear back from you guys and what your feedback is, and if you have any other cool ideas to go off of this video that I can make, just let me know as well. But thank you guys so much for your support and for watching, and I will see you guys next time.